Hey there, welcome to I Alone Fly Tarot. I'm going to do a tarot card reading for Leo energy and see if we can figure out what might be going on with different people in the world. You know, people are either willing to boldly step into their own life and come from a foundation of love, or people might be operating more from pride and ego, wanting to be in the spotlight, maybe have a new beginning, but they're not really doing it from the energy of love. They might still be operating from pride or fear or insecurity or selfishness or greed or just an illusion. Don't see the truth. So, since it's not a personal reading, I'm going to try to tell you the different stories I see here and how different people could be harnessing their Leo energy at this point in time. Well, one story I see off the right off the bat is that maybe someone is thinking of making an offer to someone that they view as a person they could be in a love connection with, but that person is healed. That person doesn't live in illusion. That person does build their life on love and hope and faith. And this person is in a mental prison about making that person a offer to have a new beginning. Because, well, from 8 of Swords to 2 of Swords, that would be a 6 of Swords at play. That would mean in order for them to make that offer, well, for one, they'd maybe have to quit moving forward with maybe making an offer to someone else they could create illusion with if they wanted to still stay in denial. And in order to make an offer to this person back here who is healed, they would have to, in the 6 of Swords, they would have to have been someone who has had to take creative, inspired action within themselves to move forward in their life and see the truth and deal with their own mental conflict that they have about listening to their intuition and not being in denial of the truth anymore. You know, it's like, no, I'm not going to get in relationships and create illusion and emotional confusion. Basically, I'm not going to be manipulative in a relationship. I'm going to do it in truth and honesty. And the 6 of Swords talks about seeing the truth, that before you had mental conflict about moving forward in the energy of love and hope and faith. And you might have had an energy of, for some people, it was just mental conflict. For some other people, they really are so defensive of love and hope and faith that they're so defensive and protective of themselves, or they like to be selfish and greedy or something, or manipulative, that they have an energy about them of wanting to win at all costs. And maybe before, the other option is that they could make an offer to someone that they view as an emotional option, but maybe the reason they would get in that relationship is because they can create illusion. You know, they can work together with someone emotionally, maybe to manipulate them, create an illusion that they're doing it based on love, but they're not. They might get in that relationship because of some other reason: selfishness, fear, insecurity, pride, ego. But people who are harnessing positive Gemini energy, again, Gemini's dualistic nature, so we can either align with our loving nature or we can align a little bit more, that love is optional in a way. We have a choice in love. What do we love? Do we love the world and what the world can give us? Is that what our focus is going to be on? More operating from pride and ego? Or are we going to love seeing life and relationships from a higher perspective, and it's really based on love? Is love optional? Maybe someone is in a love connection and they're healing from being in a mental prison about taking creative inspired action, and they're starting to listen to their intuition, or because someone they have a love connection with is healing, and that's helping them get out of their mental prison. And they could be taking creative inspired action to see the truth and start listening to their intuition. And in the Ace of Cups, that talks about take the lessons you were meant to learn from your past life experience and be willing to move forward in your life. Be willing to take those lessons so you can expand your perception of yourself and your view of the world, because the Six of Swords also talks about expanding your consciousness of how you perceive yourself in the world and what you believe is possible. Otherwise you're staying in mental conflict about the truth. What is the truth? So the universe is saying, take the lessons you were meant to learn from this past life experience so you can learn and grow and add to your foundation and your perception of yourself and what you value and, what you, having a new understanding of what, your current perception of what you love is, how you view love. And be willing to see through the illusions that we can get into, our fear and our insecurity, our selfishness, our greed, our self-limiting thoughts can all cause us emotional confusion. So take the lessons so that you're not emotionally confused about love and in a mental prison about it. From Seven of Cups down to Four of Cups, that would be letting go of a Three of Cups. Maybe these people before had illusions about relationships where they thought relationships are about just kind of working together with people in a fluffy way, not really being balanced and reciprocal and loving necessarily, just kind of working together with them. And, but the Three of Cups can talk about being emotionally manipulative, passive aggressive, and if that's how they've kind of grown up, where people kind of create illusions about love because they're fearful of really being equal give and take and being emotionally balanced, so they kind of try to play their partner off of other people and stuff, so it's not so deep and connected. If they have a choice in love and they're trying to heal, they're listening to their intuition, they might have to let go of one person that they feel that they could work together with emotionally, because the Three of Cups can talk about coming together with people from an emotional foundation. And they would have to let that person in their life be a missed opportunity. And this person might be in a mental prison because, if I have a choice in love, which one do I make an offer to? And they're trying to listen to their intuition. If they let go of one person, a choice in love or a way of being and operating in the world, they'll be working from a different emotional foundation with other people in their life. Are they going to let go of a more triangulated, manipulative type of relationship with ulterior purposes? Or are they going to be in a relationship where they truly are working together with someone from an emotional foundation? Who will they make an offer to? Which aspect within themselves will they make an offer to? Will they continue to offer their time, energy, and effort to creating illusions in life? Or are they going to invest their time, energy, and effort to moving forward in their life? Because we're either repeating patterns of the past of illusion, or we're willing to move forward in the energy of love. Are they willing to offer their resources to see all the emotional possibilities ahead of them? And part of moving forward is that, some ways of being and people that we could have worked with, if we kind of kept repeating patterns of the past, those we'll have to let those be a missed opportunity in order to move forward in our life. So, what will the judgment be? Will people make a mind over heart decision? Or will they get balance between their mind and their heart? Because we're either kind of tipped out of balance, more in our fear, our insecurities, our selfishness, or greed, and creating illusion and living in illusion, or we get ourselves balanced in the energy of love and compassion and forgiveness to overcome our past pain and heartbreak so that we can move forward in our life. What will the judgment be? Will people be emotionally cold and make a decision that, I've been hurt before, I have been betrayed before. Because of that, I'm not trusting love. I'm going to get in relationships and not really emotionally invest myself. I'm going to get in relationships to work together with people, and I'm going to kind of create an illusion but I'm actually in a mental prison still, and I'm still in denial of the truth. But I want to have a new beginning because I'm in a mental prison about having hope and faith and belief and moving forward with any people in my life that I could have that kind of relationship with. And if they choose to be that way, there's definitely going to be some people in their life that are going to feel betrayed by them. Maybe this person will decide, I'm going to stay single because I'm in such a mental prison about how to go forward in my life in relationships that, again, they might use their resources. Oh, some people even might create the illusion that they feel they've missed an emotional opportunity and they want to reunite with someone because they're heartbroken. If they weren't willing to move forward in their life and become independent and separate from some old foundations in their life or separate from their own fears and insecurities, they could be mad that some other people in their life are independent and that those people aren't codependent anymore. Those people aren't operating from being in a mental prison about love. And this person kind of maybe can't move forward with them until they heal. And if there's someone who's used to creating illusions in life and basically kind of like they don't see the truth, that's what relationships are about. In their Leo energy, they might operate more from pride and ego, and I just create illusions in relationships, and you're supposed to love me. And if some people in their life wanted them to speak their emotional truth and become more emotionally self-sovereign and balanced, not operating from pride and ego, they could be mad at those people. The people that they viewed as an emotional option that they could work together with made a decision to make a mind over heart decision because that what was best for them is that they want to be in relationships with people who speak their emotional truth and are independent. Those are the type of people who are able to dream of their future and people who are willing to make decisions that are best for everyone involved and make decisions not out of fear or insecurity, but, a mature decision. They're balanced. They're a leader. And if this person is someone who's a little bit more bossy out of their pride and ego, they might decide out of their pride and ego that instead, because they're in a mental prison about taking creative inspired action and listening to their intuition, and they're in denial that relationships are about love and hope and faith, they might decide to have a new beginning with someone else. Maybe someone else who either they feel they didn't take an opportunity to work with before in the past, that they missed an opportunity with, or maybe someone who right now they view as somebody they could get in a relationship with because that person isn't working with anyone right now. And that person might feel that they've missed an emotional opportunity to work with people. And if they make them a love offer, that this person will either reunite with them or work together with them emotionally. And sadly, some people who are tipped in shadow and they operate more from ego and like to be the bossy person in a relationship, they might make that decision just in order to backstab other people in their life who wanted this person to grow up. Just to backstab that person who did become independent and who is being a leader, because they're mad at them for doing that, because they thought that they could be in a relationship with them the way they wanted to be in a relationship with them. And it's like, well, I guess if you want to kind of create illusion in a relationship and you kind of want to be bossy and controlling and work from your ego, well, you're going to have to go find someone who wants to work with people with you that are like that. You got to find somebody who's either as equally out of balance as you are, that operates from pride and ego and bossiness, or you need to find someone very loving who's willing to tolerate your poor behavior. And if you get in a relationship with someone loving, eventually that person might decide that they want an equally balanced, loving, reciprocal relationship with people who speak their truth, who don't try to emotionally manipulate, aren't passive aggressive. People who have become more independent and stable within themselves, who are willing to be a leader, and that person might leave you too. So yeah, someone could be in a mental prison because a person they viewed as a love choice, or that they had been in a love connection with, healed. And maybe now they have someone who is in denial of the truth, lives in illusion, is offering them a new intimate beginning. And this person is wondering, should I make that person an offer? If I go with them, I know I'm going to miss an emotional opportunity to reunite with loving people in my life. Should I make the decision to make a mind over heart decision and maybe decide in my Queen of Swords energy that I'm going to be with this person who might be a Nine of Pentacles, somebody who's stable and abundant, and maybe my dreams will come into reality with them, and I'll just stick by this decision I've made. Yeah, so one choice or the other. The universe is here. They're in a mental prison right now about it, caught up in their head with all these thoughts in a mental prison about love, basically, and about getting themselves balanced emotionally so that they could start listening to their intuition. If we're kind of trapped in our shadow, we're ignoring our voices that want to encourage us to offset our fears, our insecurities, where we offer ourselves love and compassion and respect and gentleness and kindness and everything, so that we're not tipped out of balance, so that we can get more balance within ourselves, like being our own best mother, father, coach voice. And basically the universe is saying, take that creative, inspired action to get yourself balanced so that you can see the truth about why you have so much mental conflict about love. You don't have to immediately go jump into a relationship, but you can just decide, I deserve more justice and fairness in my life. I don't deserve to be in a mental prison. I'm going to get myself balanced. I'm going to quit having this energy of, mental conflict. I'm going to offer my time, energy, and effort to figure out why I'm so emotionally confused, so that I can work together with people emotionally. Because what I've been doing has been breaking my heart and making me maybe act in an emotionally cold manner, maybe a selfish manner, defensive. Why am I defensive to other people who are independent? Why do I feel like maybe I need to try to control them? We wouldn't feel a need to control other people if we had trust and faith and love and their love for us. Do we think we're lovable, or don't we think we're lovable? Well, if we're not being honest, we would kind of feel like, yeah, people might leave us one day because we know we're not being honest. We're not being truthful. Well, how about be truthful? How about be honest? And maybe if you put yourself out there, but why don't people want to do that? Because, well, if people rejected them when they're honest and truthful and put themselves out there, like that's a bigger blow to their ego. I think you should be proud of yourself. If you know you acted with character and integrity and you were honest and you put yourself out there and someone else chose that, I don't know, they want to try to abuse that or manipulate that or reject that, well, that's on them. That's how we build our sense of self-empowerment, is knowing that we acted with character and integrity and honesty and love, that we were compassionate and forgiving, and that if other people can't line up with that, well, that's on them. Some of you right now could be having someone making you a stable offer. And they want to move forward in a love connection and move forward in healing. But right now, you might be trying to work through some emotional confusion because relationships didn't work out in the past. And you'd have to let go of the past in order to work together with this person. You'd have to work through your fears and your insecurities and your self-limiting beliefs in order to move forward in this passionate new beginning. And you'd have to make a judgment that you are not going to operate from a foundation of the fact that you were heartbroken before or that people betrayed you. In the Queen of Swords Aquarius energy, you would decide that I'm going to see things from a bigger perspective. I'm going to have hope and faith and belief in healing, and I'm willing to close out old cycles of my life where I maybe did focus a little bit more on the past pain and heartbreak and people who betrayed me. And I'm going to become independent of that and, take responsibility for my own sense of stability within myself, that, we're in the present moment. Just because people in the past broke our heart or betrayed us doesn't mean that has to be something we stay attached to. We can become separate from that and decide, that I deserve to live my life. And not going to let people from my past have so much control over my foundation that I don't take responsibility to know that I'm responsible for my own sense of stability and security. I can weather storms. I can get in relationships. I'll listen to my intuition. And if I see that this person is maybe trying to create an illusion or emotionally confuse me, and I start to think that this is someone I need to let go of, and this opportunity that somebody made me that I started to move forward with, if they start to put me in a mental prison and I know it's not me because I'm coming from love and hope and faith and keeping myself balanced, well, then maybe it's this other person that's kind of trying to manipulate me, maybe trying to triangulate me against other people, being emotionally manipulative and passive aggressive, trying to play me off of other people, and that's not loving. And if they do that, it's like, okay, well, I'll make a decision that this is a relationship that is betraying my vision of love and the type of loving, reciprocal, kind, compassionate, forgiving, self-disciplined, gentle kind of relationship that I want. And I'll make a decision to hold my sword up to them. And I will become single from them, and I will dream of my future and make a decision that's best for myself, taking all things into consideration. I don't want to be in a relationship where I get in a mental prison. I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm emotionally confused because people aren't loving or kind or respectful or reciprocal. They seem to be acting a little shadowy. I'm going to listen to my intuition to guide me. So yeah. So I guess if this isn't someone you've ever known before, and as you're moving forward in the energy of love and healing, and you're working through your own fears and insecurities you have about moving forward in life, make sure someone else who isn't stuck because they're making you an offer now because they thought they could create an illusion with someone in their past that they felt they'd missed an opportunity with, and they went and reunited with that person, but then that person made a decision to betray them, and now they're defensive to that person, and now they're thinking because they feel stuck that they're going to make an offer to you. But if there's someone who doesn't want to see the truth of the whole situation, be honest, you know, yeah, listen to your intuition about that. Give your time, energy, and effort to see if this person is still living an illusion. If they're trying to create an illusion, if they're trying to emotionally confuse you or the person who moved away from them. Is that the whole point of the relationship? Is to create an illusion? Maybe if this person was, I don't know, had some kind of bad traits in the other relationship and that's why the person ended it, are they going to try to create illusion about why that other relationship ended by getting in a relationship with you? You know, sometimes people think if they get in a relationship with someone else because maybe somebody broke up with them because of their poor behavior, well, they don't want people to think it's about them, so they think if they go get in another relationship, people will be confused about what the truth is. You know, maybe just even in their friend family group. You know, it's like, well, so and so got in a relationship with someone else, though, so they can't be that bad. It's like, well, sure. There's a lot of people desperate to be in a relationship. You know, some people get in a relationship with practically anyone for any reason. Pride and ego. You know, maybe this person made an offer to someone who was in a mental prison about moving forward in their life. They were trying to heal from some other love relationship in their life. And that person's still in a mental prison, so that's how come they made them an offer. It's like, perfect, you seem to be in a mental prison about moving forward. Me too. And I want to try to create an illusion about why I ignored a love offer from people who seem to be very loving and abundant and stable. I don't want people to know that I'm fearful of moving forward in that way, that I like to create illusions and be emotionally manipulative and maybe be bossy and controlling, and I operate more from pride and ego. I don't want people to know that's why I didn't want to move, or I basically couldn't move forward in that relationship. Because if I was going to move forward in that positive relationship, those people would have required me to speak my emotional truth. I don't want to speak my emotional truth. I don't want to separate from an old way of being in life. I like living from my shadow or my fear or my insecurity or my pride or ego. Or, yeah, some people could have even left you in a relationship that you're healing from. They had illusions about someone else and they went and got in that relationship and they got betrayed. So now they're defensive to that person. They might feel stuck and want to make you an offer, hoping you're still in a mental prison so you'll reunite with them, even though they maybe left you and betrayed you to go get in another relationship. You know, and then there is always the possibility of redemption. If someone has seen things from the bigger picture now, you know, they had to repeat past patterns of the past because they weren't seeing the truth. They thought they could heal things about their conception of love. You know, and why would any of us get in unhealthy relationships in a way? It's because of how we view love. Some people view love as like a choice. You know, they can get in love relationships for a lot of different reasons. And they kind of repeat those patterns. Maybe it's things they learned in childhood or something. And we kind of repeat those patterns of the past until we learn to heal within ourselves. And if we don't choose to heal within ourselves, you know, the universe keeps trying to heal us to figure out what we didn't understand. We go get in relationships and it's like, yep, did you see that again? Did you see that pattern you repeat based on how you perceive love? Or, you know, some people could view love as being very unkind. Maybe the way they grew up is that love is very manipulative. It is very passive aggressive. Isn't that what love is? Or people are jealous or envious, and that's their perception of love. And if they are unwilling to face the truth of that, and they don't know their own worth and value, and they haven't done the work to get themselves emotionally balanced, they'll keep picking love choices thinking they can heal it. Because we all want, you know, if people in our past are emotionally manipulative, passive aggressive, unkind, whatever, you know, it's like we want them, those kind of people. We want to win this time. We want to heal that type of relationship. So we kind of keep getting in relationships with people who remind us of our past when people didn't give us what we needed. It's like, this time I want to win. I want those people that seem like that, which really is actually kind of unhealthy. I want to heal it this time. I want to make them choose me. And those kind of relationships, if you keep choosing people that are basically unhealed and trying to get them to heal and pick you this time, you're probably always going to end up in a mental prison. Because if you keep picking people like that are just like the people in your past who weren't very loving, weren't very kind, could have been selfish, greedy, emotionally manipulative, kind of create illusion in relationship in order to get their way, ignore your love, make mind over heart decisions, can be emotionally cold, and they maybe did all of that to them or you when you were growing up because they didn't want you to become independent from their foundation. They use it as a tactic to manipulate you to keep you codependent. And if you keep trying to heal things with people like that, or people who are just kind of like that and have those same traits and characteristics, you know, you're going to keep doing it, but the universe is going to keep leaving you in a mental prison because odds are, you know, we can't change people. People have to choose to heal themselves. And that's what the universe is offering people right now. Don't keep getting in relationships hoping that will heal you or that you can heal someone else. It's just going to leave you in a mental prison. You know, take creative, inspired action to see the truth and offer yourself the love and compassion, forgiveness and respect and kindness that you wish other people in your life would have given you. And that way you heal yourself. And then you don't have to go repeat patterns with people from your past or of people who reminded you of your past. Because you have chosen to love yourself. You don't need other people outside of you to validate your worth and value because you are valuing yourself. And then you are willing to take creative, inspired action, listening to your intuition. You've learned the lessons you were meant to learn. You see through the illusion of people in your past who ignored your love, tried to triangulate you with other people, were emotionally manipulative and passive aggressive, and you're making a decision that is heartbreaking. And as a Queen of Swords, tapping into your Aquarius energy, you've seen things from the bigger picture. And you believe that you can keep moving forward, willing to think outside the box, turn your back on those old foundational ways of being, and people in your life who seem to keep representing that same pattern. It's like, I'm not dealing with that kind of pattern. People who want to live in that type of a relationship pattern, I turn my back on those people because I see the truth that love is about me loving myself, treating myself in an honoring, compassionate manner, a forgiving manner so that I can keep moving forward and forgive myself for my fears, my insecurities, my pride, my ego, and my selfishness kicks up so that I can maintain balance and I offset choosing to go for the things in my life by encouraging myself and trying to conduct myself in a just and fair and kind and loving manner in my relationships. And if other people aren't willing to do that, I'm going to hold my sword up to them. People who dream of their future always being like it was in their past, it's like, no. I want people in Aries energy who are willing to bring down old foundations to start new foundations. They have a new perception of themselves and the world around them. Some of you might be fearful that somebody might offer you a new passionate beginning. And that you'll have to listen to your intuition to find out if those people are someone who's going to ignore love and is a more triangulated person, or if they are someone who sees the emotional possibilities of moving forward with you, and they're accepting that some relationships in their life will have to be a missed opportunity. You can't cling to an old foundation. It's like, well, I don't know, I'll get in a relationship with you, but I'm still kind of clinging to these other people or just anyone that I might have a possibility with. Are you willing to be loyal and committed, honest, forthright? And you gotta make some decisions. Tell us about, or listen to your intuition. Tell us about the Eight of Swords. The person who's in a mental prison in the Page of Swords might be keeping an eye on you. Maybe because you walked away from them. They might be in a mental prison about walking away from old ways of thinking, believing, and perceiving to take creative, inspired action. Or if they're kind of immature and live in a mental prison, they're just kind of keeping an eye on you, but they might be thinking they're going to walk away because there might be someone else in their life who isn't healed, and that person could be offering them a new, stable beginning to live an illusion with them. And they might decide that being in a relationship with you, because you're healed, that's going to have to be a missed emotional opportunity, because they maybe prefer to be in more triangulated relationships. But it still could be heartbreaking for them. They might be deciding to get in this other relationship out of fear and insecurity about learning and growing or changing. Tell us about the Two of Swords person. And so they know that you're going to be defensive to them moving forward. But, yeah, well, if people wrote themselves out of a love story that you were trying to co-create with them, and they wrote themselves out for whatever reason, it looks like because they're in a mental prison, they have a lot of thoughts in their head, or a lot of fears and insecurities, or really worried about everyone else would say, and they'd have to speak their emotional truth and become independent from some foundations in their life and take creative, inspired action to listen to their intuition. And maybe all of that is stuff they're not willing to do. The person in the Two of Swords could be offering this person a new emotional beginning because they're heartbroken, because, I don't know, they invest their time and energy about being really stressed about moving forward in the energy of love. So since this person's in a mental prison, it's like, I feel stuck too. It really causes me a lot of stress and anxiety to think of moving forward in love and hope and faith and belief. So how about you want to live an illusion with me, and we'll operate more from pride and ego, and we'll keep making mind over heart decisions, and maybe just focus more on money and materialism in the 3D world because we're really stressed about love. So some people would be doing that. Others of you even though, and some of you could be in a love relationship right now, like I say, that you're working on healing. You're working with your fears and insecurities, focused on your inner truth. As you keep going, you're walking away from things that you emotionally invested in before that don't bring you emotional wish fulfillment. And that can be, you know, thoughts that we choose to think. It's like, no, I'm not going to be so much up in my head. It doesn't bring me emotional wish fulfillment to sit in fear and insecurity. You know, I'm going to stand in my inner truth of hope and faith and belief in this relationship or in alone. And I'm going to take creative, inspired action to keep listening to my intuition. And I'm going to keep offering my time, energy, and effort to see through the illusion. You know, our mind is constantly, maybe you could look at it as trying to protect us from being emotionally hurt. But if we get too caught up in our mind, you know, it's love that helps us overcome our fears and our insecurities. And with love, either healing yourself or in a love relationship right now, you're going to keep offering, being practical and grounded, to offer your time, energy, and effort to see through maybe your fears and insecurities that maybe you fear in the future, that if you move forward in this love relationship, that at a future time, you'll offer love and someone will ignore it. And that maybe they'll get in a third party situation, or, you know, try to be emotionally manipulative, and the whole thing will end up in you being betrayed and blah, blah, you know. Don't get caught up in your head of the what ifs, because trust your intuition. If you're working with someone right now, or you're going to maybe be working with someone that might make you an offer because maybe they're listening to their intuition and their intuition is telling them to make you an offer, but between both of you, you have some fear and insecurities, you know, that you just need to work through. And as you work through it together, you can walk away from these emotions that cause you to be in fear of this worry about a future that may never happen. You know, always try to keep each other in the present moment and focused on, do you like me today? I like you. You want to enjoy today and not worry about tomorrow and the future and all these fears and insecurities? How about let's live in the present moment? And if you do that, you know, it helps you maybe the perspective that you need to be in so you don't get in a mental prison. So I did archetype cards, and for you positive Libras, we got the Leo, we got the gambler, willingness to follow intuition even when others doubt you. And what was that? Willingness to follow even when others doubt you. And surrender your fear of intimacy. You are ready to let love in, compassionately identify and begin to release any patterns that stop you from opening your heart. That can be overthinking, getting too much up in your mind. And if anybody kind of comes into your life or right now is deciding to go get in a relationship and make a mind over heart decision because they have fear about coming from the energy of love, those people are a shadowy virgin and a shadowy hermit. So, a fear of intimate union, and they withdraw from society out of fear or negative judgment of others. They refuse to help those in need, and those people need to surrender their negative thinking. So, because they don't overcome being in a mental prison of their thoughts, either about pride and ego or bossiness or wanting to be in control and create illusions in relationships and like to manipulate people. Some of those people right now, they're so much in a mental prison that instead of healing, they are going to get into a relationship with someone who's offering them a new emotional and maybe new financial beginning. And they'll make a mind over heart decision just to kind of focus on the 3D world, money, and materialism. So there you go. Oh, and I did a random flip of the quote calendar, and you got, nobody gets to live life backward. Look ahead. That is where your future lies. And if any of you had someone in your life that you could see that someone decided that in a choice in love, maybe someone they viewed as an emotional option, that they feel they missed emotional opportunity with, and those people reunited, you could see that those people are trying to heal something. It does have you a little bit up in your head about the whole thing, but you're making the judgment that you have to make the mind over heart decision to turn your back on this person that you might have hoped to be in a love relationship with, and you are going to walk away, because needless, staying focused on them isn't going to bring you emotional wish fulfillment. And the universe is saying, yes, take creative, inspired action forward. Follow your passion and your dreams of what the future could be. Listen to your intuition. See through the illusions that you had with this person and face the future. Detach from this foundation and make a decision not just based on your emotions or what you thought could be. You know, look ahead to where your future lies. So there you go, Leo energies. I wish you peace, love, and joy, and we'll see you next time. Bye bye.